Today's anime is called More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers. In this world, students are paired with each other for mandatory couples training to help them prepare for marriage. However, Akari and Jiro, our protagonists, don't want to be paired with each other. Instead, they want to be paired with their love interests. Can they get along if they are forced to live together? Watch to find out. Soon, it will be time for the school to select couples for the mandatory couples training. At the shrine, Akari and Shori accidentally meet, both hoping for luck with their future partners. Jiro and Sadaharu talked about the practical marriage, and although Jiro is an unrepentant gamer, he secretly hopes to be paired with his crushed Shori. Akari and her crew arrive and ask them to get out of her way. They watch as her group fawns over Minami, a popular idol at their school. Jiro comments that when Minami shows up, Akari changes her disposition from mean to kind. In class, Jiro talks with Shori and they each express their stress over the practical marriage. And Jiro doesn't have the heart to tell Shori his affections for her. Their educator portrays the fairly nosy pragmatic, where the school gives lodging and screens everything they might do, as well as observing their pulse and other vitals. The school likewise has a positioning framework set up and rewards the couples that get along admirably. Sadly, Jiro gets matched with Akari, who is furious to be matched with a failure like him. She realizes that he is frustrated not to be matched with Shori, and they contend, yet immediately understand that since they don't get along they will be losing focuses. Akari recommends an arrangement that they get along so they can rapidly score focuses, and assuming that they score in a position or in the main 10 of couples, they can change to their really wanted accomplices. Jiro gets embarrassed about what it means to be in a ranked couple, and Akari teases him for points. He retreats to get a drink to calm down, and she cries because she really wanted to be paired with Minami. Jiro also discovers that Minami has been paired up with his crush Shiori, and he quickly becomes depressed. Akari tries to comfort him and suggests they do their best to try to become in a ranked couple so they can achieve their dreams. He is uncertain because he doesn't have as much experience as her, but she asks him to try his best. Sadaharu arrives to hang out, and Jiro prepares to leave. Akari demands he give her a goodbye kiss. She teases him because she thinks he won't do it, but he suddenly goes for his first kiss. When he leaves, Akari is embarrassed because she meant a goodbye kiss on her cheek. The next day, Akari wakes Jiro by hitting him, interrupting his pleasant dream. At school, he sees Minami and Shori and he can't help but feel sad. As they seem to get along well, Jiro's teacher tells him the marriage practical is important for his grades, and if he doesn't do well he can't graduate. It starts to rain and Jiro is stuck at school with Sadaharu. Akari arrives but ditches them for karaoke with Minami. Later, while he is waiting for the rain to end, Sherry also arrives because she was staying late at school and she hugs him. They have a moment but are interrupted by Minami, who has come for her because she forgot her umbrella. The both of them leave while Akari eavesdrops, feeling sorry for Jiro. Akari comes back to share her umbrella with Jiro and they head home. She comforts him and tells him not to give up on Shori and that he needs to focus and try his best. At home, Akari makes delicious omelette rice for them and he is amazed at her cooking. He feeds her and they almost kiss, but are interrupted when his phone rings. They each can't help but think about the kiss, and that night Jiro has another pleasant dream about Shori, until he is awoken by Akari. She asks him to stay with her and they watch horror movies together because she heard that if the couples watch horror movies together they can get a lot of points. She also gives him some pajamas to wear because it will get them more points, and they change into them. Suddenly lightning strikes and the power goes out, and Jiro is shocked when Akari grabs onto him, because she is scared of lightning. They can't get into their bedrooms because the power is out and they have fingerprint security, so they have to share the couch together. To pass the time, he starts to tell her a ghost story, but she is way too scared. They use scented candles since the power is still out and they start to fall asleep next to each other. Though embarrassed, he can't help but think about how cute she is when she is asleep. The next morning, Jiro and Sadaharu are shocked to find out that Jiro and Akari have ranked up to a B-ranked couple. But they are all even more shocked when they find that Minami and Shori are an E-ranked couple with barely any points. But this revelation, Jiro feels worried for Shori, even if he is happy that she and Minami don't seem to be getting along. Meanwhile, at the music club, Shori is listening to Mei play the piano. The two are best friends and Mei asks Shori about her marriage practical score, and Shiori replies she already has her love interest. Later, Jiro is sick and feeling a bit lonely since Akari went out with her friends, when suddenly Shori arrives for a visit. Akari is at a dessert shop with her best friend Sachai and Natsumi, where they tease her about her crush on Minami. They discuss the desserts that are named after kisses, and she can't help but think about her kiss with Jiro. Jiro and Shori hang out and Shori reveals that Akari asked her to visit him since she will be out with her friends. They remember their childhood past together, where Jiro often took care of her. When she was sick, one day Shiori had to transfer to another school and Jiro tried to confess to her, but stopped when she expressed worry about their long-distance friendship, so to this day he never told her how he feels. She brings him delicious food and they talk about their practical marriage. A little guilty, he expresses worry about the marriage practical score and if she is doing all right. Shiori reveals that she is a bit anxious around guys she doesn't know and that is affecting her score. She also expresses that she had hoped that they would have been paired together. He tries to cheer her on and gives her confidence even if it means Minami and Shori could become closer as a result. Akari and her friends discuss a rumor that Shori and Minami are actually annoying each other, but when they start to talk badly about Jiro, Akari feels conflicted and stays quiet. While Jiro is sleeping, Shori leans over him as if to kiss him but stops. She has a crush on him and in the same childhood memory where Jiro almost confessed to her, she almost confessed to him as well. She feels sad that she still doesn't have the confidence to confess to him. When Akari returns, Jiro thanks her for sending Shori to take care of him, and that he will do his best to score points for them as a couple, so that she can fulfill her dream of being with Minami. He heads to sleep and Akari feels conflicted about the situation. Akari and Jiro, who are paired together for mandatory couples training but who plan to switch to their desired partners, discuss their plans over lunch. Akari asks Jiro if her crush Minami might prefer a girl like Shiori who is more soft-spoken. Jiro thinks that perhaps the key to a guy's heart is food and recommends that she makes bento for Minami. They work together to make bento for her crush and come up with a number of delicious items to bring to school. Jiro tests them and finds them perfect at lunch. Sadaharu is jealous about Jiro's bento filled with Akari's cooking, as they had a lot of extras from that morning. Sadaharu feels like Jiro is living a life out of a manga, and angrily tells him to share his experiences with his best friend. Jiro is tired of his best friend who keeps objectifying Akari, and they are surprised when Akari approaches them to ask Jiro how the lunch tastes. The next morning, Akari is making bento for Minami and plans to take them to Minami's part-time job, and she gives them to Jiro. He finds it delicious, but is conflicted because the food isn't really for him. He feels jealous because Akari has dressed up and wrapped the bento just for Minami. They get wrapped up in saying goodbye and almost kiss, but are interrupted by the door, where Shiori has come to visit with apple pies. She reveals that the pies were a request from Minami as Minami loves sweet things. Shori asks about the bento box, and looking at the perfect apple pie, Akari feels disheartened. She decides not to deliver the bentos to Minami, and feels that her cooking won't be good enough. Jiro attempts to cheer her up, but he panics because he isn't used to complimenting girls. She teases him because he is clearly attracted to her and she starts to encourage him until Jiro stops their moment, saying that they shouldn't be acting so closely because they each have their respective crushes. She stops and says they should stop their married couple act and end their plan to reach A rank, and the next couple of days they lose points as they ignore each other. Later, the couple's training points are released and Minami and Shori have reached a rank in the end-of-month evaluation. Sadaharu asks about Jiro's points, as he and Akari have dropped very low in the rankings. Shiori approaches Jiro to ask him about what happened between him and Akari, as their scores have dropped. He states they had an argument and she encourages him to make up with Akari. He returns home to see that they have 0 points, and approaches Akari. He apologizes but she argues that he has nothing to apologize about. But he senses that she is still upset, and he states that he hates how everything has been awkward between them and that he did not rebuff her because he disliked her and that he found her attractive and wanted things to go back to normal again. She laughs at him because of how desperate and serious he sounds, and she replies that she found their fake married life more enjoyable than she thought. She teases him into kissing her hand and they decide to go back to acting like a couple. So today, up to this, we will be back with another recap. Here are some other videos I hope you like. Thanks for watching.